Hello, Serious Survivor here. This is part 2 to the Apocalypse Tips Edible Plant series. A lot of plants will be listed in this section, and there will be more to follow. Please remember, even though a plant may be considered edible and safe to eat, know your own allergies, know your body, and know what you can and cannot handle as an individual. So here it goes. Thanks for watching. Huckleberry. Huckleberry is the cousin of the blueberry. These look-alike imposters grow all throughout the forest, wilderness, and mountainous regions. These plants are short, only about waist high, but they produce dark blue sweet berries with a tart little zing to them. The berries are a little smaller than a wild blueberry, and they grow a little more spread out on the plant itself, as blueberries tend to grow more in clumpy clusters. Lamb's quarter. Lamb's quarter is exceptionally nutritious. Our bodies can produce 14 of the essential amino acids, but 8 of them need to be found in external sources. Lamb's quarter is one of those valuable sources. The whitish dust present on each leaf is made up of mineral salts from the soil and is an indication of its mineral-rich value. Often the lamb's quarter leaves will taste salty and therefore make quite a nutritious salt replacement or addition to the dishes. Lamb's quarter seasoning is made easily by drying up the leaves and mixing them with other spices. Lamb's quarter is packed with essential vitamins and minerals. For example, 3.5 ounces of raw lamb's quarter, which is about 1 cup of greens, contains 73% vitamin A and 96% vitamin C of your recommended daily allowances. It is also a fantastic source of B vitamins. This plant grows all over the continental USA and tastes better than spinach. It is also called goosefoot and pigweed. Mulberry. Botanically speaking, the fruit is not a berry but a collective fruit in appearance like a swollen loganberry. When the flowers are pollinated, they and their fleshy bases begin to swell. Ultimately, they become completely altered in texture and color, becoming succulent, fat, and full of juice. In appearance, each tiny swollen flower roughly resembles the individual drupe of a blackberry. The color of the fruit does not identify the mulberry species. White mulberries, for example, can produce white lavender or black fruit. White mulberry fruits are generally very sweet but often lacking in needed tartness. Red mulberry fruits are usually deep red, almost black, and in the best clones have a flavor that almost equals that of a black mulberry. Black mulberry fruits are large and juicy with a good balance of sweetness and tartness that makes them the best flavored species of the mulberry. The refreshing tart taste is in some ways reminiscent of grapefruit. Mulberries ripen over an extended period of time, unlike many other fruits which seem to come all at once. Persimmon. Persimmon is also known as the date plum, and it can be found in clearings, meadows, fields, and dry woods or pine lands. These are small yellow-orange to orange-red fruits that grow from a ½ inch to 4 inches in diameter and may resemble a miniature pumpkin. Persimmon trees will bloom small, light yellow, bell-shaped flowers in the spring and turn into fruit by the fall. These can be eaten dry, cooked, or raw, and are quite sweet due to their high glucose content, though they are not as tasty before they are properly ripe. If they're green, they aren't ready. They can also be used in jam, sauces, bread, and even in smoothies or ice cream. Pine trees. There are several different types of pine trees located throughout the U.S. While several parts of the tree have a variety of practical and medicinal uses, pine trees are particularly known for the strong teas made by brewing the young green pine needles. This tea is also high in both vitamins A and C. The prickly pear cactus. This can be found in the deserts of North America. It is a very tasty and nutritional plant that can help you survive the next time you're stranded in the desert. The fruit of this cactus looks like a red or purplish pear, hence the name. You can also eat the young stem of the prickly pear cactus. It's best to boil the stems before eating. Purslane. While considered an obnoxious weed in the United States, purslane can provide much needed vitamins and minerals in a wilderness survival situation. Gandhi actually numbered purslane among his favorite foods. It's a small plant with smooth, fat leaves that have an undeniably sour taste. Purslane grows from the beginning of the summer to the start of the fall. You can eat purslane raw or boiled. To remove the sour taste, boil the leaves before eating. Ramps. Ramps are the wild cousins of the onion. Ramps have big, wide green leaves and are usually easy to pull straight out of the ground. They can be found in fields, plains, and lighter wooded areas. They're excellent for wraps, soups, salads, etc. They are very versatile and are abundant during the springtime. A very delicious plant. Rock tripe. This is a plant we've seen hundreds of times in the wild, yet some may not have recognized or known that this plant really is edible. A flat green and black colored plant, they do not appear appetizing upon first seeing them. After identifying and gathering rock tripe, clean it well and soak the plant for about an hour or two to make a slightly more palatable ingredient. Several species of rock tripe are collected and eaten around the world. Roses. Normally the rose is thought of as a decorative or accenting piece. These are very common throughout the world, and there are many variations of the rose. In many parts of the world, it is common to use rose petals in making sweets and even things like ice cream. As far as edible plants and flowers go, these are one of the sweeter types. Avoid eating the white part on the end of the petals, as this part is very bitter. You can chop up rose petals for use in salad, mix them with butter and spread on your bread, make jam out of them, or just munch on them raw in survival situations. If you're going to try eating roses in a non-survival situation, make sure you choose organic ones if possible, and thoroughly wash them, because roses are one of the most heavily sprayed plants due to the decorative nature in which they are most commonly used. Sassafras. Sassafras is a relative of 3 extant and 1 extinct species of deciduous trees in the family Lauraceae, and it is native to the eastern North America and eastern Asia. The plant's roots and bark were originally used to make root beer, but they can also be used to make a pretty strong tea when dried and steeped. The younger twigs and leaves are edible, and as sassafras ages, it becomes less palatable, with a dry and bitter taste. Wild onion. It is closely related to wild garlic and may often be mistaken for it, as they taste and smell similar. Both are good for the immune system. These can be found in meadows, fields, moist or shady woods, and thickets. The long, flat, grassy looking leaves can sometimes grow to be about 2 foot tall with pink or white flowers at their ends. These flowers develop into bulbs. Early spring is the best time to harvest these. Sheep sorrel. Sheep sorrel is native to Europe and Asia, but has been naturalized in North America, and is now a common weed in fields, grasslands, and woodlands. It flourishes in highly acidic soil. Sheep sorrel has a tall, reddish stem and can reach heights of 18 inches. Sheep sorrel also contains oxalates and shouldn't be eaten in large quantities. You can eat the leaves raw. They have a nice tart and almost lemony flavor. Stinging nettles. Stinging nettles are an excellent urban edible plant, but to avoid discomfort, they must be boiled or cooked first. It's loaded with vitamins and minerals, such as iron and magnesium. The smaller leaves at the top of the plant have a palatable and mild taste. The larger the leaves, the more bitter they taste, yet they are still edible. Leaves and stems of the nettles have small, fragile hairs, which are actually capsules full of several liquid chemicals, including formic acid. While touching the leaf, a hair, sharp like a little needle, gets stuck into your skin, then breaks down, and the liquid gets injected into your skin. The sting of a nettle may be cured by rubbing the part with rosemary, mint, or sage leaves. Nettle stems contain a fiber, which may be used for making small ropes, sails, and fine linen cloth, suitable even for shirts and bedding. Once you cook the nettles, they don't sting anymore, so they're great for stir fry or steamed. Thistle. If you have the time and patience to peel back the spikes along the stalks of this plant, chop up some of the stalks and boil them with the roots to add some vegetables to your meal. Walnuts. Walnuts are round, single-seeded stone fruits that grow from the walnut tree. Walnut trees are native to the eastern North America, but are now commonly grown throughout the world. Beneath the husk of the walnut fruit is a wrinkly, globe-shaped nut. The walnut is split into 2 flat segments to be sold commercially. Walnuts are available both raw or roasted, and salted or unsalted. Water lily. There are many different types of water lilies. These freshwater plants are native to the temperate and tropical parts of the world. The flowers, seeds, and rhizomes of these plants are edible and can be eaten raw, dried, or cooked. Boiling the roots of this plant produces a thick liquid that can be used as a gargle for sore throats or as a remedy for diarrhea. The flowers of most species have many stamens, which are male reproductive structures. Some flowers open only in the morning or in the evening to attract insect pollinators. The fruit is usually nut-like or berry-like. Some fruits ripen underwater, and all members of the family are perennial except for one type found in Asia. White mustard. White mustard is found in the wild in many parts of the world. It blooms between the months of February and March. You can eat all the parts of these plants, the seeds, flowers, and even the leaves. These are predominant, though, in the southeastern United States. Wild grape. If you are a wine connoisseur and can name and identify the multiple types of grapes out there, then you're a step ahead. But you may be disappointed with these wild growing and slightly sour wild grapes, as they're much smaller than the traditional ones we buy in the store. And these are found commonly throughout the US, but are very common through the eastern seaboard and southeastern states. Once the berries soften and ripen, they are very rich in natural sugars and are therefore a great energy source. Wild strawberry. Wild strawberry is an all-time favorite and grows near woodland borders, in meadows and fields, open slopes, and near roadsides and fences. It is not surprising that the wild rose grows in many of these same places, since strawberries are one of the rose family. These grow in trailing vines and produce small white flowers with 5 rounded petals. Wild strawberries are smaller than those you buy in the store, from a ½ inch to maybe 1.5 inches in diameter. Wintergreen. Wintergreen is a dark green plant, and it is often found on the ground next to huckleberry plants, but can be found in a wide array of other places. Take a leaf, snap it in half, and take a whiff. If you've got the right plant, you'll instantly know it by the familiar wintergreen chewing gum smell. The dark green leaves often have white flowers growing on them, and when dried, make a refreshing and minty tea. Wood sorrel. Wood sorrel is also known as sour grass, and wood sorrel almost looks like a cartoon shamrock or clover. These flowers can range from white to yellow to even pink. The entire plant is edible and even has a medicinal purpose in that it can be used to cure stomach cramps. Beware of eating too much, however, especially if you have kidney or liver problems. This is by no means an all-inclusive list. These are the most common types I've found from my research, but there are a multitude of other edibles that can be found in the wild. The most important thing is to know your area and the areas that you may be traveling through. Knowledge is the key to survival. I hope this video is informative and you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe for many more videos on various topics. Thanks for watching, and for now, Serious Survivor, out.